start this out a bit unconventionally. We're going to play a little game. A little game you might have guessed called Never Have I Ever. This is the title of my speech. All right, so I'm sure most of you know, but the rules of Never Have I Ever go like this. I'm going to say something that I have not done, and if you have done it, then you take a drink. But since it's Thursday at noon, I'm just going to have you raise your hand instead. Okay, so I'm going to say something that I have not done, and then you say, if you have done it, please raise your hand. And everyone's being really quiet today and look kind of bored, so wave it around and woo and get really excited, all right? Help me out here. All right, we're going to start. Never have I ever started my own business.
So you raise your hand if you have.
Yes, if you have done it, raise your hand. And woo. Okay. Never have I ever lived for more than 3 months outside of the United States. I heard any whoops, guys, come on. Never have I ever had kids. You can't even get excited about your kids. Never have I ever gotten a dog as an adult.
Woo!
Very nice, Sam. Never have I ever become a distinguished Toastmaster. Got 3 of them in here, very good. All right, and I really did want everyone to be included and have a chance to raise their hand, but I think I missed some of you, so here we go, last one. Never have I ever raised my hand in answer to one of Tehya's Never Have I Ever questions. All right, there we go. Everyone is a winner. That means everyone is a winner, and I do have a prize bowl up here. And it's Halloween candy, so the calories do not count. Please feel free to take as much as you want after this meeting ends. All right, now I know you're probably wondering one of 2 things. Can I have some of that candy now instead of after, because this is a long speech. And where in the world is she going with this? Well, no, sorry. And here's where I'm going with this. So this is the last speech on my pathway, the first pathway that I started. So I'm gonna finish. And the assignment was to reflect on my path and how giving speeches, what I've learned through it, et cetera, et cetera. And when I thought about how all of the evaluations that I've received have shaped my future speeches, and how getting up here every week has significantly improved my confidence, and how that little yellow bell has ruined watching live TV for me because all I can do is keep a tally of how many times they say I realize that while all of those are great benefits of being in Toastmasters, the biggest takeaway that I've had is how much you can truly learn about other people by listening to their speeches. And that's why I wanted to play Never Have I Ever, to highlight all of these things that I've learned about you through the many, many speeches that I've heard over the 2 full years it's taken me to finish this pathway. And I just want to thank each and every one of you that has gotten up here and revealed something about yourself. I think that we can all agree that it takes a lot of courage to get up here, voluntarily, I might add, and speak in front of tens of people. But what's even more courageous is doing that while being authentic and telling your story. I've learned that even if the delivery isn't exactly perfect, if someone is standing up here and being authentic and talking about their personal lives, their successes, or even their struggles, it truly does build that connection with the audience, and that does translate into our everyday lives. I mean, I've seen Scott and Bruce tear up behind this lecture, and I'm not making fun of them by any means. It's just not what I would have expected when walking into this room 2 years ago. I wouldn't have expected it. But hearing all of you be vulnerable and real and passionate and funny has taught me that people do actually truly care about what I have to say. I've never been one to speak up in group settings or even acknowledge my feelings to myself, let alone voice them to others. So just wanted to say that I truly am grateful for all of you. And I encourage especially our new members to continue getting up here and being courageous. Now, the second big takeaway that I had is about the power of the evaluation. Now, I'm not someone personally that has ever needed to receive feedback because, well, you know, I'm perfect. No, I'm kidding. But as I'm sure you can tell from that joke alone, I have never been great at receiving constructive criticism because I take it like so personally. Even though my brain knows that the person giving me feedback is coming from a good place and trying to help me, my heart is just screaming, they hate you, they hate you, they hate you. And I'm sure a therapist would have a field day hearing me just explain that in front of you. But the good news is that I don't need therapy because, again, well, I'm perfect. No, all jokes aside, evaluations are a great tool for not only the person receiving the evaluation, but even more so sometimes for the person giving the evaluation, and especially the group out in the audience. Evaluations are like a mirror being held up to each of us, even if you're not the one being evaluated. It's kind of like how they say if you're watching a show or a movie and you really hate one of the characters, they just inexplicably upset or trigger you. It's actually just a projection of your own insecurities. You see something in them that you know that you do that you don't like about yourself. And evaluations are kind of like that. It's a little dark, but it's true. Evaluations are a great chance for all of us to self-reflect and to let our guard down a little bit and become more self-aware of the things that we may be doing that hinder not only our public speaking capabilities, but also how we may be perceived in everyday, day-to-day communications. And I know that being an evaluator can be very challenging, especially if you're a newer member tasked with evaluating one of the grades. But it is really, truly an opportunity for the entire club to get better. So I want to thank everyone, again, who has ever volunteered or been voluntold to be an evaluator. Because it is truly how we make ourselves better. And that is the goal of coming here every week. The goal is to not sit and listen and not get called on. And I just want to reiterate that I encourage everyone to become the best evaluator that you can. I know we focus so much on the prepared speeches and sometimes table topics, but it starts with the speaker communicating with the evaluator what it is they're looking for, maybe printing out the form. And then it goes to the evaluator really paying attention to the speech and commenting some, sure, on the actual content or the overall theme, but actually highlighting the admirable traits that someone has, the tangible things that the group can take and learn and apply to their own speeches. And using the feedback portion as an opportunity for the club as a whole to have some lessons learned. And if you're a newer member, please, please never think that you are unqualified to contribute during an evaluation. I know it's scary if you're evaluating someone who's been here longer than you. But sometimes it's great because you may see something that the rest of us have just become accustomed to. All right, the final takeaway that I have is less about what I've learned through listening to or giving speeches, and more about the club itself. I leave this room every week feeling refreshed and a little worn out, and excited and often inspired. And that is somewhat to do with the meeting itself, but it's more about, again, all of you. I've watched people in this club support each other and encourage each other and celebrate each other. I've watched many of you put in a lot of hard work for very little recognition and no pay. I have watched hugs and handshakes and honest conversations. People staying late to have lunch with each other or to give someone else advice because they know that that person has walked through that path in life and they're just experiencing it. People getting here early to make sure that a speaker has everything they need to set up their computer if they're using that, or making sure that all the roles are covered, offering to fill in if someone's going to be late. I have seen people in this club actively do things, take action on things without even being asked to make this a better club and a better experience for all of our members. Whether that's the camera being set up to record everyone's speeches so that they can actually learn, or this wonderful background behind me that we did not used to have. I have watched people in this club walk up to guests and new members that have only been here a few times and strike up conversations like they've known them for years. People of all walks of life connecting over a single commonality, the fear of public speaking. I remember when I first came here, each week I was greeted by a bunch of different people, and it made it just that much easier to take that step and sign up for my icebreaker speech. And then I got bamboozled into being the VP of Ed about 6 months later, but I will forgive you guys for that. Now I know this might be starting to sound like an Oscar acceptance speech because of how much I'm thanking you, but it truly is the people in this club that make it so successful. On paper, yes, but also in the less quantifiable ways. This is a community, a family in a sense to some, and I am truly very grateful for it and all of you. I'm going to use this opportunity to plug our upcoming fall social, for which Audra will be polling you all for times that you're available, because we do want to get as many people, guests included, to come and stop by and talk outside of this environment and really get to know each other. I want as many of you to try to attend as you can, because I promise you get out what you put into this club. And this does not just have to be a place where you sit trembling in your seat until after table topics are over. It can be more than that. All right, in summary of the last speech on my pathway, I just want to say to all of you, continue to be authentic and courageous. Continue to take opportunities to learn and to help others grow. Continue to restore my faith in humanity one Thursday at a time. Never did I ever